So you're thinking about moving to Richardson, Texas? Before you make that decision, I'm breaking down the real pros and cons people don't find out until they're already living here. And stick around because one of the cons at the end is something nobody talks about until it hits you, literally. I'm Mike at The Pursuit, your DFW real estate agent. I help people relocate all over North Texas, and Richardson is honestly one of the most unique suburbs in Dallas area. If you're thinking about buying, selling, or relocating to Richardson, I help families and investors every single day. My team and I love helping people make their move to Richardson, Texas, and whether it's 7 days or 30 days or even a year from now, feel free to reach out. My information is in the description below. I love to be your Dallas and surrounding suburbs real estate resource. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment on which neighborhood you want a full tour next. Pro 1, excellent location. If location is the top of your list when choosing where to live, Richardson, Texas is one of those places that quietly checks a lot of boxes. And honestly, it doesn't get talked about enough. Richardson sits right in the heart of North Dallas, which means you're not way out in the suburbs, but you're not also dealing with downtown congestion every single day. One of the biggest advantages here is immediate access to US 75, also known as the Central Expressway. That alone is a game changer. From most parts of Richardson, you're about 15 to 20 minutes from downtown Dallas, depending on traffic. You're also 10 to 15 minutes from Plano, and you've got quick access to areas like Frisco, Addison, and even Las Colinas without needing to cut across the entire metroplex. For commuters, this is huge. Whether you work in Dallas, Plano, or multiple parts of DFW, Richardson puts you in a very central position. You're not locked into one job market, which is something buyers don't always think about until after they move. Another major plus is public transportation. Richardson is served by the DART Red Line with multiple stations like Arapahoe Center and the Galen Park. That gives you a straight shot into downtown Dallas, uptown, and other employment hubs without sitting in traffic. You're surrounded by major employment center. Richardson itself is part of the telecom corridor, home to large employers in tech. And if you expand just a few miles out, you got Toyota, State Farm, Liberty Mutual, and countless corporate offices nearby. But it's not just about work. Location also means lifestyle. Richardson gives you easy access to shopping, dining, and entertainment without feeling overly commercial. You're minutes from City Line, Plano Legacy area, and North Park Mall, all without living right on top of it. And when you want to get away, you're still close enough to Dallas Love Field and DFW International Airport to make travel easy, whether it's for work or a weekend trip. What really makes Richardson location special is balance. You get suburban neighborhoods, mature trees, at a quieter pace, but you're still connected to everything that makes DFW Metroplex so desirable. Pro 2, strong job markets. Richardson sits right in the middle of what is known as the telecom corridor, which has been one of North Texas' major employment hubs for decades. This area didn't just pop up overnight. It's been attracting large employers, engineers, tech professionals, and corporate offices for years. Some of the biggest names in technology, engineering, telecommunication have had a presence here, including companies like Texas Instrument, State Farm, and several major software and cybersecurity firms. And even if your employer isn't technically in Richardson, you're surrounded by job centers in Plano, Dallas, Frisco, and Irving. As a real estate agent, I see a lot of buyers who work in multiple industries choose Richardson because they're not locked into one career path. Whether you're in tech, healthcare, finance, education, or corporate management, the location gives you options. A huge part of Richardson's job market strengths comes from UT Dallas. The university isn't just an education hub. It's also a pipeline for talent, research, startups, and partnerships with major companies. That kind of environment attracts employers who want access to skilled workers. Another factor that strengthens the job market here is the commute efficiency. With direct access to US 75 and DART Red Line, Richardson makes it easy for people to get to work without spending hours in traffic. Shorter commute makes the area more attractive to both employers and employees. And when company knows their employees can live nearby, it helps them retain talent, which again supports long-term job growth. What's important to understand is that a strong job market doesn't mean jobs exist, it means they're diversified. Richardson isn't dependent on one single industry. When you have tech, healthcare, education, corporate offices, and nearby financial centers all working together, the local economy tends to be more resilient. That economic stability directly impacts housing demand. Areas with strong job markets typically see more consistent home values, steady buyer demands, and better long-term appreciation. Pro 3, great school options. If schools are anywhere near the top of your priority list, Richardson, Texas is definitely a city you want to pay attention to. One of the biggest strengths Richardson has is the variety and quality of schools options available. Whether you're looking for a strong public school, magnet programs, private education, or higher education nearby, Richardson offers more flexibility than many people expect. First, let's talk about the public schools. Richardson is primarily served by Richardson Independent School District, also known as Richardson ISD. This district has a long-standing reputation in North Texas for academic rigor, strong extracurricular programs, and diverse student population. Richardson ISD offers specialized programs in areas like STEM, fine arts, college prep, which gives students opportunities to explore different strengths early on. Schools like J.J. Pierce, Richardson High School, and Berkner High School are well known for advanced coursework and competitive programs. As a real estate agent, I always remind buyers that school quality isn't just about test scores. It's also about program options, student support, and long-term outcomes. And Richardson does a solid job across all three. Another big plus is magnet and choice programs. Richardson ISD allows families to apply specialized campuses that focus on technology, science, healthcare, and other arts. That's a huge advantage if your child has a specific interest or learning style. Beyond public schools, Richardson also has access to a variety of private and charter schools within the city and nearby areas. That gives families even more flexibility when it comes to class size, curriculum, and educational philosophy. And then there's higher education. Richardson is home to the University of Texas at Dallas, which is a major academic and research institute. Having a university like UTD right in the city raises the overall education culture, attracts top talents, and creates partnership with local schools and businesses. From a housing perspective, areas with strong school options tend to have better long-term demand. Families are often willing to stay longer, upgrade within the same city, and invest more in their homes, all of which help support stable property value. What I also hear from a lot of parents is that Richardson schools offer a good balance. They're large enough to provide opportunities, but not so overwhelming that students feel lost. Plus, many neighborhoods are zoned to well-established schools that families actively seek out. So if education matters to you, whether that's strong public school, specialized programs, private options, or access to higher education, Richardson gives you choices. And in real estate, choice is a big deal. If you're thinking about moving to Richardson and want to understand school zones, neighborhoods, and how they impact home value, I'll be happy to walk you through it. Make sure you like, subscribe, and reach out if you're planning to move to North Dallas. Pro 4, safe and established communities. One thing I hear over and over again from people considering Richardson, Texas is this: it feels comfortable, and that feeling isn't accidental. It comes from the fact that Richardson is a safe, established community. Richardson isn't a brand new suburb that popped up overnight. Many of these neighborhoods were built in the 1960s, 70s, and 80s, and that history actually works in the city's favor. You see mature trees, wider streets, and homes that have been maintained, updated, and cared for over generations. When a community has been established for this long, it creates stability. You're not dealing with constant turnover. You have homeowners who've lived here for 10, 20, even 30 years. And that kind of long-term ownership usually goes hand in hand with pride of ownership. From a safety perspective, Richardson consistently ranks as safer than many surrounding Dallas area suburbs. The city invests heavily in public safety, including police, fire, and emergency services, which help maintain the sense of security residents talk about. As a real estate agent, I can tell you that buyers don't just ask about home prices. They ask about how it feels to live in an area, and Richardson scores high when it comes to peace of mind. Another big reason Richardson feels safe and established is the number of parks, trails, and public spaces woven throughout the city. Places like Breckenridge Park, Prairie Creek Park, and Duck Creek Trail System gives residents room to be active, spend time outside, and connect with neighbors. These aren't neglected spaces. They're well-maintained, clean, and actively used, which is another indicator of a city that takes care of its community. Richardson also does a great job hosting community events, festivals, and local programs. When people regularly show up to the city events, school activities, and neighborhood gathering, it strengthens community bond and naturally supports safety. Established communities like Richardson also tend to offer strong long-term real estate stability. Homes in safe neighborhoods often hold their value better and see more consistent demand, especially from families and professionals looking for a place to settle long-term. This is the kind of place where people feel comfortable walking their dog in the evening, kids playing outside, and neighbors neighbors looking out for each other. That's something you can't always measure on paper, but absolutely feel it when you're here. Pro 5. One of the best food scenes in North Texas. One thing that surprises a lot of people about Richardson, Texas is just how good the food scene is here. This is not a place where you're stuck with the same chain restaurant over and over again. Richardson has one of the most diverse and underrated food scenes in North Texas. And a lot of that comes from the city's cultural diversity and long-term established neighborhoods. If you're someone who enjoys trying different cuisines, this is one of those cities where you could eat something new every week and still not run out of options. Richardson is especially well known for its Asian food scene, particularly along areas like Greenville Avenue and Beltline Road. You'll find some of the best Chinese, Vietnamese, Korean, and Japanese food in the entire DFW Metroplex, not just Richardson. Places like Jin Chi Restaurant are famous for authentic Chinese dishes and handmade dumplings, and people drive in from all over DFW just to eat there. First Chinese Barbecue Restaurant is another local favorite that's been around for years and has a loyal following. Now here's my hidden gem. If you're into Vietnamese food, pho pastor and pho bak are one of the well-known spots. Richardson has several highly rated options that compete with anything you'll find in Dallas or Carrollton. Pho has grown in its popularity over the years as a healthy dish. It's not just a healthy soup. Back in my drinking days, it was a good hangover remedy. And if you know, you know. And if you didn't know, now you know. Pho pastor is my favorite spot, and I go there whenever I'm in the area or if I don't feel like cooking at home. But it's not just Asian cuisines. Richardson also has a solid Middle Eastern, Mediterranean, and Indian food option, which again speaks to the city diversity. As a real estate agent, I always tell buyers that a strong food scene is more than just a lifestyle perk. It's a sign of a healthy local economy. Richardson thrives where people live, work, and stay long term. And what makes Richardson's food scene even better is convenience. You're not fighting downtown traffic or searching for parking for 30 minutes. Most of these places are easy to get to, have plenty of parking, and feel more relaxed. When people enjoy where they eat and socialize, they tend to enjoy where they live. That's one of the reasons Richardson attracts young professionals, families, and long-term residents. Pro 6, parks and outdoor activities. One of the biggest lifestyle advantages of living in Richardson, Texas, and something people don't always expect, is just how much access you have to parks, trails, bike routes, and outdoor activities. Richardson isn't just about neighborhoods and convenience. The city has intentionally built outdoor spaces into the communities, which makes it easy to stay active without having to leave town. If you enjoy walking, jogging, biking, or just spending time outside, Richardson offers options that fits into your everyday life. Let's start with Breckenridge Park, because this is one of the largest and most popular outdoor spaces in Richardson. Breckenridge spans hundreds of acres and features miles of paved trails, open green spaces, picnic areas, and sports fields. This park connects directly to regional trail system, which means you can bike or run miles without constantly crossing busy streets. It's common to see families, cyclists, runners, and even organized sports happening all at the same time. Another highlight is the Canyon Creek area, which offers a quieter, more residential outdoor feel. The trails here wind through established neighborhoods with mature trees and shaded paths, making it ideal for daily walks or evening bike rides. This is one of those areas where outdoor space feels like an extension of the neighborhood, not something you just have to drive through. Then there's Prairie Creek Park, which is one of Richardson's most unique parks. It features a walking trail, scenic creek view, and small waterfall that a lot of residents don't even realize is here. Prairie Creek is perfect if you're looking for a more peaceful, nature-focused environment. It's a popular spot for morning walks, photography, and anyone who wants a break from the city without leaving Richardson. Richardson also has an expanding network of bike routes and multiple used trails that connects parks, neighborhoods, and commercial areas. This makes it easy for residents to bike recreationally or even use trails for commuting. And if golfing is your thing, Richardson has a solid option here too. Canyon Creek Country Club is a private course known for its mature landscaping and classic layout, while Shrill Park Golf Course offers 2 public 18-hole courses that attract golfers from all over North Texas. These courses add to the green space in the city and gives residents recreational options that you don't always find this close to Dallas. From a real estate standpoint, access to parks, trails is a big deal. Homes near green spaces tend to see strong demand, especially from families, retirees, and buyers focused on lifestyle. Let's talk about Duck Creek Trail, because this is one of the most important trail systems in Richardson. Duck Creek Trail runs through multiple neighborhoods and connects parks, green belts, and residential areas. This trail is popular with walkers, runners, cyclists, and families. It's mostly shaded, well maintained, and gives you a peaceful, scenic route that don't feel like you're in the middle of the city. One thing residents love about Duck Creek is that you can access it directly from many neighborhoods. For a lot of people, it becomes part of their daily routine. Morning walks, evening bike rides, or weekend strolls. Pro 7, housing variety. One of the biggest reasons people end up choosing Richardson, Texas is simple. You actually have options when it comes to housing. Unlike some suburbs where everything looks the same, Richardson offers a wide variety of home styles, price points, and neighborhoods. That makes it appealing whether you're a first-time home buyer, a growing family, a downsizer, or even an investor. Richardson is an established city, so you're not just seeing one type of housing. You're seeing decades of development layered together. You'll find mid-century and traditional single-family homes throughout Richardson, especially in neighborhoods built in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. These homes often sit on larger lots, have mature trees, and feature solid construction. A lot of buyers love these areas because they can move into a well-maintained home or renovate and add value over time. You'll also see updated and remodeled homes where owners have blended original character with modern finishes. This gives buyers the charm of an older neighborhood without sacrificing today's design preference. Richardson also has a strong selection of townhomes and condominiums, especially near major roads, dark rail stations, and areas like City Line. These are popular with young professionals, downsizers, and anyone looking for low maintenance living. For buyers who want less yard work and easy lock and leave options, this is a big advantage. Mowing the lawn? I ain't got time for that. And while Richardson is an established city, there is still new construction and infill development happening. You'll find modern homes built within older neighborhoods, giving buyers access to new layout while staying close to the city's core. There's also a wide range of rental options, from apartments and condos to single-family homes. That makes Richardson attractive for renters, relocations, and investors looking for long-term demand. From a real estate perspective, housing varieties is important because it supports market stability. When a city offers different housing types at different price points, it attracts a broader range of buyers and residents. In Richardson, you'll see families, professionals, students, and retirees all living comfortably in the same city, just in different types of homes. What that means for buyer is flexibility. You can often stay in Richardson as your needs change, starting in a condo, moving into a single family home, and maybe downsizing later without having to leave the city. Last but not least, Pro 8, very diverse community. One of the things that really set Richardson, Texas apart, and something residents genuinely value, is how diverse the community is. When people think about diversity, they often think only in terms of demographic. But Richardson, diversity shows up in culture, education, food, career, and everyday life. It's one of those places where people from different backgrounds live, work, and interact naturally. And that creates a stronger and more balanced community. A big reason Richardson is so diverse is its strong job market, education preference. With the telecom corridor and the University of Texas at Dallas nearby, the city attracts professionals, students, researchers, and families from all over the country and around the world. When people relocate here for work or school, many of them choose to stay long-term, and that adds to the city's cultural depth. You'll see this diversity reflect in Richardson's local businesses and food scene. You can find authentic international restaurants, specialty grocery stores, and locally owned shops representing a wide range of cultures. That variety isn't just nice to have, it's become part of the daily life. Whether it's where you eat, shop, or socialize, you're consistently exposed to different cultures in a very organic way. Con 1. Alright, let's talk about the not so fun stuff. Property taxes. Like most places in North Texas, property taxes in Richardson can feel high, especially if you're moving here from out of state or from an area with lower taxes. Texas doesn't have a state income tax, so a lot of funding for schools, cities, and local services come from the property taxes, and Richardson is no exception. One thing that impacts property taxes in Richardson is the fact that it's an established city. Many of these neighborhoods have been around for decades. They're well maintained and they're in a high demand. When demand stays strong, property values tend to rise, and when values rises, taxes usually follow. A lot of homes in Richardson have been updated, remodeled, or well cared over the years. That's great for resale value, but it can also push valuation higher compared to newer suburbs where prices are still catching up. This is something buyers don't always think about at first. They just focus on the purchase price, but the monthly payment is affected just as much as taxes. Another factor is what those taxes pay for. Richardson has a strong school, good city services, public safety, parks, trails, and infrastructure. And all that costs is money to maintain. So while higher taxes can be a downside, they're also tied to why Richardson is such a desirable place to live. When you compare Richardson to newer, further out suburbs, you might find slightly lower tax bills in those areas. But the trade-off is often longer commutes, fewer established amenities, and less infrastructure. In Richardson, you're paying for location, stability, and long-term desirability. This is why I always encourage buyers to factor in property tax into their budget early. Don't just look at the list price, look at the estimated taxes, exemptions, and what your true monthly payment will be. And the good news is, there are ways to manage this. Things like homestead exemptions, planning your purchase strategically, and understanding how appraisals work can make a real difference. So yes, property taxes in Richardson can be higher than some in nearby areas. That's the con. But for many homeowners, the benefits, strong schools, safe neighborhoods, locations, long-term values help balance that out. The key is going in with your eyes open. If Richardson fits your lifestyle, commute, and long-term plans, then the taxes just are a part of the overall picture, not a deal breaker. Con 2, older homes. Let's talk about another important consideration when buying in Richardson, Texas, older homes. Richardson is a very established city, and many of the homes were built in the 1960s, 70s, and 80s. That's part of the charm, but it can also come with some challenges if you're not prepared. One of the biggest cons of older homes is maintenance. Over time, systems wear out. Things like roof, HVAC systems, plumbings, and electrical panels may be near the end of their lifespans or already outdated. If these items haven't been updated, they can turn into unexpected expenses shortly after you move in. Another factor is home layout and design. Many older homes were built with smaller kitchens, fewer bathrooms, and more closed-off floor plans compared to what buyers are used to today. For some buyers, that's not a big deal. For others, it means budgeting for renovations to make the home fit their lifestyle. Energy efficiency can also be a concern. Older windows, insulation, and original construction materials may not meet today's efficiency standard, which can also impact utility costs. And while many older homes were built solidly, they still need updates to meet modern expectations. As a real estate agent, I think it's important to be transparent about this. Older doesn't mean bad, but it does mean you need to do some homework. Now here's the good news. These challenges are manageable if you approach them the right way. First, a thorough home inspection is non-negotiable. This help identifies major issues early on, so you can negotiate repairs, request credits, or decide if this home still makes sense for you. Second, many homes in Richardson have already been updated or renovated. There are plenty of properties where big ticket items like roof, HVAC, windows, and kitchens have been updated. That's where working with a local agent really matters. Knowing which neighborhoods and homes have been properly maintained can save you a lot of time and money. Third, for buyers open to renovations, older homes often present an opportunity. You can sometimes purchase at a lower price point and customize home over time, rather than paying a premium for new construction elsewhere. Con 3, traffic on 75. All right, let's talk about one of the most talked about downsides of living in Richardson, Texas. And if you live here, you already know where I'm going with this. Traffic on US 75. US 75 is incredibly convenient. It runs right through Richardson and connects you directly to Dallas, Plano, and the rest of North Dallas. But during rush hour, it's chaos. We're talking about tight lanes, ongoing construction, and drivers acting like they needed to be somewhere 5 minutes ago. Morning and evening commutes can back up quickly, especially near major exits like Arapahoe, Beltline, and Spring Valley. And because Richardson is so centrally located, you're dealing with both local traffic and through traffic. As a real estate agent, this is something I always bring up with buyers. Convenience is great, but traffic is a real factor in a day-to-day life. The truth is, US 75 isn't bad all day. It's bad during the peak commute hours. Outside of those windows, it actually moves pretty well. But if your schedule lines up with the rush hour, you need a game plan. Let's talk about my pro tip number 1. When US 75 is backed up, use the service road. Hopping on and off the ramp lets you bypass long stretches of gridlock, and you usually hit fewer stoplights than taking streets the entire way. This alone can save a surprising amount of time if you know which exits to use. Pro tip 2, alternate routes. Highway 190, also known as President George Bush Turnpike. This is a huge relief valve when 75 is packed. It runs east to west and connects Richardson to Plano, Garland, and other parts of the Metroplex. Yes, it's a toll road, But for many commuters, the time savings are absolutely worth it. Pro tip 3, take the city streets. Roads like Greenville Avenue, Court Road, Plano Road, and Campbell Road can be a solid alternative depending on where you're headed. They may take a few minutes longer on paper, but they're often more predictable than sitting on the highway watching brake lights. And don't forget the Dart Rail. Richardson has multiple stations that gives you direct access into Dallas. For some residents, that completely eliminates the US 75 problem. So yes, US 75 is a con, no sugarcoating it, but it's also the price you pay for living in a highly connected, central location. Most people who live in Richardson learn their shortcuts, adjust their timing, and quickly realize the benefits outweighs the frustration. The key is choosing the right neighborhood and route strategy from day one. Con 4, limited new construction. All right, let's talk about another important consideration when it comes to living in Richardson, Texas. And this one surprises a lot of buyers. Limited new construction. Richardson is a mature, established suburb, which means most of the city was built out decades ago. Unlike places like Frisco or Prosper, you're not going to see massive master plan communities popping up hundreds of brand new homes. If you're looking for that big brand new development feel, wide open land, matching houses, brand new everything, Richardson probably isn't going to be the best fit. The main reason is simple. There's very little undeveloped land left. Richardson has already grown into its footprint, so there's not much room for large-scale new builds. When new construction does happen here, it's usually infill development, 1 or 2 built homes on an existing lot, or a smaller townhome project rather than an entire neighborhood. For buyers who want modern layouts, energy efficient, and the latest finishes, this can feel like a drawback. Limited new construction means you're most likely choosing from resale homes, many of which were built in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. That also means fewer builder incentives, less customization up front, and sometimes more competition for well-updated homes. Now that doesn't mean you can't find something modern, it just means you may need to be flexible or willing to update a home over time. The trade-off is you get location, mature neighborhoods, strong schools, established infrastructures, and long-term stability, things the newer suburbs are still building towards. For a lot of buyers, that's worth giving up the brand new feel. If brand new homes are a must for you, the solution isn't complicated, it's about knowing where to look. As a real estate agent, I often help clients compare Richardson with neighboring cities like Frisco, Plano, Allen, McKinney, or even Garland. We can also go east of Dallas where there are more master plan communities in Mesquite, Forney, Rockwall, Roy City, and Terrell, where new construction and master plan communities are more common. And if you love Richardson location but want more modern homes, we can also target fully renovated properties or high quality infill builds within the city. The key is being honest about what matters most to you, brand new construction or an established community with long-term value. Con 5, seasonal allergies. And here's a con that nobody really talks about until it hits you. Allergies. And North Texas allergies are no joke. And Richardson is full of trees, big, mature, beautiful trees. That also produces a lot of pollen. I'm originally from California, and I'll be honest, I never had allergies until I moved to Texas. Springtime here will humble you real quick. If you know, you know. And if you don't know, then go get his prescription for Allegra D. D for decongestion. It works for me. That over-the-counter stuff, Richardson is an established city with tons of green space, parks, trails, and tree-lined neighborhoods. This is a huge quality of life benefit, but it also means higher pollen counts, especially in the spring. Tree pollen is the big one here, followed by the grass pollen in late spring and early summer, and the ragweed in the fall. So for some people, allergy season feels like it lasts most of the year. Another thing that makes allergies worse in North Texas is how quickly the weather changes. You have one warm day, you have a cold front, then back to warm again. All that kicks pollens into overdrive. For some residents, allergies are just a mild annoyance. For others, that can mean congestion, headaches, itchy eyes, and feeling run down, especially if you're new to the area. If you're someone who spends a lot of time outdoors, walking trails, biking, or hanging out in parks, you're gonna feel it more during peak allergy season. Now here's the good news, most people do adjust. Your body often adapts after a year or two in North Texas, and there are plenty of ways to manage allergies once you know what you're dealing with. First, indoor quality matters. Homes with newer HVAC system, clean ductwork, and good filtration systems make a big difference. Second, many residents use air purifiers. keep windows closed during high pollen days, and shower after being outdoors to reduce exposure. Third, knowing the seasonal patterns. Once you know when the tree pollen spikes, you can plan outdoor activities accordingly. And of course, allergy medication or working with a local allergist can be a game changer. So yes, seasonal allergy in Richardson's are a real con. No sugarcoating it. But they come with the same thing that makes Richardson such a great place to live. Mature trees, green spaces, established neighborhoods, and an outdoor-friendly lifestyle. The key is knowing what you're getting into and planning for it. If you're thinking about moving to Richardson and want the honest, real-world insight on what daily life here is actually like, not just the highlights, I'll be happy to help. Make sure you like, subscribe, and reach out if you're planning to move to North Dallas. So we're talking about the pros, the cons, the lifestyle, and what day-to-day living is actually like. Let's get to the bottom line. Who is Richardson, Texas really perfect for? And who might want to look elsewhere? Richardson is a great fit for people who want quick access to Dallas without living right in the middle of it. US 75, Dart Rail, and multiple east of west routes, you can get into downtown Dallas, Plano, and other parts of North Texas without commuting to a long commute every single day. It's also ideal if great schools are high on your priority list. Between Richardson ISD, school choice programs, and proximities to higher education like UT Dallas, education is a major strength here. If you care about lifestyle, Richardson's food scene is one of the most underrated in North Texas. From authentic international cuisines to local neighborhood spots, you're not limited to a chain restaurant. Richardson also checks the box for safe, established neighborhoods, mature trees, long-term homeowners, well-maintained parks, and strong city services created a community that feels stable and lived in. And finally, Richardson is perfect if you want to live near tons of job opportunities. The telecom corridor, UT Dallas, and nearby employment centers in Plano, Dallas, and Frisco gives you flexibility as your career changes. Now on the flip side, Richardson might not be the best fit if you're set on certain things. If you're looking for a brand new construction or large master plan community, Richardson is limited there. It's a mature suburb, so homes are resale or infill rather than brand new builds. If super low property taxes are a top priority, Richardson may feel higher compared to some outlying areas. That's part of living in a well-established city with strong services and schools. If you're craving rural, quiet living with wide open land and minimal neighbors, Richardson isn't the vibe. At the end of the day, Richardson isn't trying to be everything for everyone, and that's actually what makes it appealing. If Richardson is on your radar and you're thinking about moving anywhere in the North Dallas area, reach out to me. All my information will be in the description below. I help people relocate every single week, whether you're buying, selling, or just trying to figure out which suburb fits your lifestyle. Call, text, or email me anytime. I'm here as a resource and I'd love to help you make that move. And if you found this video helpful, hit that like button, make sure you subscribe, and tap that notification bell so you don't miss any of my North Texas neighborhoods breakdowns. I got more tours, pros and cons, hidden gems, and price point videos coming your way. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.